But here's another thing, and I'm going to close out on these two things in regards to serving and outreach. I just do what I can. It's not to make other it's not to make people look better and others worse, but more along the lines, there's work to do, so why not you? And I know I'm guilty of it at times, and other people probably are too. Why me? Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to be the person to go out here? Why do I have to be the person that's always the go to or this or that? Sometimes the situation calls for you to be that person. Are you always going to be that person? Maybe not. But at times, you might be. So be open to playing on different roles and being that resource. Not only, and remember, community can take on different terms: family, friends, loved ones, where you live, other places you visit, your civic entities, your community based organizations. So understand your role in regards to being a community servant or steward might change from time to time. Here's a couple other things, and I'm going to close out on this. The proverbial saying is, if I can help one person, and this is true, however, I know in some way, shape, and form, even if I never see it or hear it, I'm hopefully helping more than one. I tend to think I am, so if the masses don't fully embrace me, I'll live with the rejection knowing that I'm empowering some to do the work that is yet to be done, which in turn allows them to go further than I can. I'll focus on being the best bridge builder that I can be. And here's another thing, and this is something that we all have to learn. Anytime you're out there, it might not be universally received. People might not always give you the applause or accolades, but you got to ask yourself, are you doing it for the applause or are you doing it for the purpose? And that's big because some people will post every little thing that they do, and sometimes it's just to draw attention to the issue or topic, but sometimes it's not. And there's other people that move in silence because they don't mind being in the background. So you've got to understand when you think about any type of service or outreach that you do, it really does have to be about the purpose. And you've got to understand you might not get the applause. There's a number of people out there that are probably known and unknown that do a lot of things, to try to make things a little bit better. And I guarantee you they are doing it for the purpose. And it's true, sometimes you can't help everybody, but you know what? You never know who you might encourage. And remember what I've said before, sometimes they might not receive the message coming from you. Real talk. You have good intentions, some people might not receive the message coming from you. It doesn't mean they're not going to receive it. And some people might not. But you'd rather kind of take that chance of going out and doing something, because I know there's people that I can remember, and some people my memory's getting a little bit bad, charge it to my head and not to my heart, that I know have helped me out. There's people unknown who've done whatever from giving me advice to wanting support and encouragement. I mean, that happens sometimes. So yeah, I think all of us to varying degrees will have a little bit of disappointment when what we do isn't initially received. But hey, what's going on, big homie? Um, Sometimes it's not going to happen. You just have to understand that's part of it. So again, we want the applause and we want, hey, look at me, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you just have to stick to the purpose. That would be what I'd say. And I think there's definite models out there where I'll put it simply, and I've said this before, and I'll probably say this a few more times. When I look back from present day to historically, there are many people who have done something for me that I will never know, and vice versa. So, are you doing something when you're out there in the community or out there trying to be a resource? You might not be the problem solver or the end all. You might be the start, or at some point, maybe not with you, but with somebody else, there might be that moment of clarity or moment of recognition where they're like, hey, there might be something to it. So, some good feedback, Jarius. I would definitely want to appreciate your point. Sometimes you can't help everybody. That's true. Sometimes you can't. But if you don't make the effort, you already know the outcome. So, that's just one of those things to just think about. And again, I think as long as you're focused on the purpose, some something positive is going to happen. It might not happen with that first person, but it might happen with that second person or third person. So if I'm reaching out to 10, even if 3 only respond, 3 is better than none. And I know I'd have none if I didn't even make the effort. So continue to make the effort as best as possible, best as you can, based on where you are. Okay to pause and make some adjustments, and then go ahead and go from there. So I hope that reading some segments from chapter 9, and let me get back to that chapter one more time. Chapter 9, let's see, let me find it. Chapter 9 for love of community. So chapter 9, love of community. Chapter 9, love of community. Chapter 9, love of community. This is from the first book. Hope you can see it. This is from the first book. So as we get ready to wind down our Fast 15, I know we took a little bit longer because I had a little bit of issues with the laptop. So for the folks that were tuned in on Instagram, thank you for taking time to be on there and be patient. For those on Facebook, I know we got started a little bit late, and I know we're running a little bit over our 15 minutes, but thank you for being on. Please make sure to share with other people. This is true. If you do it for the applause, you subject yourself to disappointment because everyone won't receive the message. Be purpose driven. That is true. Rose Celebrations ATL. Hit them up. It's Rose underscore celebrations underscore ATL on Instagram. Definitely hit them up. They're doing some great work based in Metro Atlanta, in Charlotte. So that Carolina connection. I'm rocking the Carolina based hat, Wake Forest. um, um, that's true. You have to be committed to the purpose. And there's something else that I saw earlier today that helped me with an unexpected situation that happened. You really do have to be dedicated to the purpose. Oh, thank you, Good News Notebook, and thank you, Mr. Parker. I'll tell my folks he said hello, and give a shout to Derek Alston and my buddy Jasir Taylor, who's up that way. As we get ready to pivot, and I know this is great that we're going a little bit longer than the standard 15 minutes. This is what I want to make sure to do every Wednesday at about 1:06 p.m. Typically 15 minutes. Sometimes we go a little bit longer, but when folks, like I said, like Mr. Jarius Wallace with Rose underscore celebrations underscore ATL on Instagram, and others, you have provided some good things for all of us to think about and all of us to consider. So I'll say this before we fully close. With our topic on the community, ultimately it is about the purpose. Understand it might not always go as planned, but it's got to be about the purpose. And don't get me wrong, the applause is cool, but don't do it for the applause. You've got to do it for the purpose. When you're consistent with doing it for the purpose, you'll be surprised what can happen. And I'm sure a number of us can speak to that. We hope that when we get attention, we're able to shift it towards whatever that topic or that issue at hand, and give ourselves a moderate pat on the back, but just don't do it exclusively for the pat on the back, because you are going to be disappointed if you are looking for the pat on the back. But in closing, this is what we do midweek, just a moment to pop up, come up for air. I appreciate everybody's comments. I really do, because those are your thoughts, and that helps us to pause and revisit and evaluate things. So I'm really grateful for that. Continue to be passionate with your purpose, whatever constructive things you're trying to do professionally, community-wise, arts, family, any other areas of concern. Be passionate and be purposeful. Be persistent and persevere, and pause from time to time too. At the outset, I was definitely full of humor when I was having some problems getting on, but we've got it figured out. So in closing, just a couple of quick reminders. The next edition of the Fast 15 is going to be next Wednesday, May 27th, 1:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch it on Facebook Live, on my Facebook page, Author Andrew Snorton, Instagram at Author A Snorton, and now that I've got another device, I'll upload it to my YouTube channel, which is Author A Snorton. And when you go on YouTube, go to the section where it says playlists, and you can check it out. So I'm excited that I've got that going on. Couple other real quick things, then we're going to go. This Sunday, 3 p.m., join me as well as fellow author Tyra Satai for All About the Authors. That's going to be more of an author-specific roundtable that will be available on Zoom. And later on today and or during the day tomorrow, I'll have that info posted with the link and the password so you and your friends and associates can come in, as it'll be a more book specific conversation. Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Conversation Corner is a television show I have on the Status Network. So that will air. Let me make sure I have the platforms. The network website, statusnetwork.net, Status Network smartphone app, social media for Status Network, as well as a channel Live TV, LIVE Live TV. So that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and others. For those of you that have Roku and Amazon Fire Stick, Status Network. So just tune in next Wednesday, the 27th at 7 p.m. And I also stream it on Facebook Live through author Andrew Snorton to make that public. So we bring in guests from across the board: radio, television, entertainment, business, community, and more. And we've got some great people that are lined up, and we'll drop those announcements. Okay, I think we're good. I think I'm good. To everybody out there, especially with it being a holiday weekend, please be safe. Enjoy yourselves, but enjoy yourselves in moderation. Please be safe. We don't want anyone. If you're gonna make a date, don't make it with the Rona. You can make it with somebody else, but don't make no Rona dates. We don't need that nonsense. We need you around, and someone else needs you around a little bit longer. So please be safe out here. Given the current health landscape, Memorial Day. Thank you for all of those who have served and are no longer with us. We want to say thank you. Be safe out here. Be careful. And as you've heard me say this, I don't need anyone out there being paranoid, but I don't need you being foolish either, because we need you around. So until next time, please take good care. Thank you to everybody who joined in today. Like I said, this is the longest one we've done, but it was good because people raised some very good points and some good questions. And I don't want to stifle any conversation, when we're talking about, these topics and areas of hand, because ultimately this is just a time to pause and help somebody out there. So even with this, it's not the end all, but for somebody out there, I hope it's a bridge for you to go ahead and pivot to the constructive spaces and places you're trying to go. Take good care, be blessed, be safe, and I'll see y'all real soon. Okay, so the Instagram folks, I'll see you later. To my Facebook folks, I will see you later. And last but not least, to my YouTubers, I will see you later.